What if I told you that the way we've been taught to live is fundamentally backwards? That most of us are approaching life like it's a war zone, a place to conquer, to win, to survive, and in doing so, we miss the entire point. Alan Watts believed that we've mistaken the nature of existence, that we've turned life into a battle when it was always meant to be a dance. And the more we fight, the more disconnected, anxious, and joyless we become. Because you can't win at dancing, you can only participate. You can only move with the rhythm, feel the music, and let yourself go. Right now, you might be struggling to keep up with the pressures of life, career goals, personal expectations, the constant drive to make something of yourself. And yet deep down, there's this subtle exhaustion, this quiet ache that whispers, "Is this it?" That feeling, that haunting sense of disconnect comes from treating life like a battle, like a game of strategy and domination. But what if it's not? What if life is not about reaching the top, but learning how to move with it, with grace, presence, and joy? Alan Watts said, "We thought of life by analogy with a journey, with a pilgrimage, which had a serious purpose at the end." But the thing was to sing or to dance while the music was being played.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Take a moment right now. Ask yourself, what if there's nothing to win? What if the real goal is not achievement, but alignment? Not to conquer life, but to collaborate with it? This isn't a passive idea, it's the most active one there is. Because dancing isn't about standing still or giving up. It's about engaging fully in the moment. It's about letting go of control, not to fall into chaos, but to flow with it. And that flow, when you find it, is where joy lives. Not in the future, not in the final outcome, but in the movement itself. Yet here's the problem, and this is where it gets deep. We've been trained to resist the flow. From childhood, we're taught to compete, to compare, to strive. We're told to find our purpose, to crush our goals, to be someone. But what does that even mean? Who defines this someone we're supposed to become? And why is it always a version of ourselves that exists in the future? Watts would say this is the ego's greatest illusion, the belief that fulfillment lies somewhere else. So we turn life into a performance, constantly trying to justify our existence through effort, productivity, and self-improvement. But the truth is, life is not asking you to prove yourself. It's asking you to be yourself, to play your role not as a duty, but as a dance. And here's where it gets really interesting. Watts used the analogy of theater to describe this. In a play, every character matters. The hero, the villain, the fool, the wise one. Each plays their part to make the story alive. In the same way, life is not about being the best character. It's about playing your character fully and honestly. So the real question isn't, am I winning? It's, am I being real? Am I embodying this role with presence, with authenticity, with joy? I think for a second, what role are you playing right now? Is it one you chose or one you inherited? Are you being true to the music of your own soul, or are you dancing to someone else's rhythm? This is not just philosophy, it's practical spirituality. When you stop comparing yourself to others, when you stop treating life like a scoreboard, you begin to listen. You tune in. You start hearing your own tempo, your own melody. And when you align with that, when you dance your own dance, life stops feeling like a burden. It starts to feel like a celebration. But dancing takes courage. because it requires vulnerability. It requires you to let go of control, to risk looking foolish, to move in ways that aren't always logical or approved by others. And yet, that's exactly where the joy is found. Watts reminds us, the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. That's not just poetic, it's practical. Because life is always changing, always moving. And when we resist that movement, we suffer. But when we join it, when we flow with it, we thrive. Here's something to ask yourself right now. What am I resisting? What part of life am I trying to control, fix, or fight? And what would happen if I stopped resisting and started dancing with it instead? Maybe it's uncertainty. Maybe it's failure. Maybe it's change. But whatever it is, try shifting your mindset. Instead of asking, how do I conquer this? Ask, how do I move with this? That subtle shift from force to flow can change everything. Because now you're not a soldier. You're a dancer. You're not here to win. You're here to express. And that expression is sacred. It's not just about art or creativity. It's about how you live, how you speak, how you love, how you show up. Every action becomes part of the dance when it's done with awareness and intention. Even the simple things, making tea, walking outside, listening to someone, these become profound when you're fully in them. That's what it means to be in the dance. You're not just passing through life. You're inhabiting it. You're feeling it. And that, Alan Watts would say, is where the real joy is found. But don't mistake joy for constant happiness. Joy is deeper. It includes sadness, uncertainty, and even pain. But it holds them lightly. It lets them move. It doesn't turn them into enemies. That's the dance. It's not always graceful, but it's always alive. And when you stop trying to choreograph every step, when you let life surprise you, you rediscover something you may have lost long ago, your natural rhythm, your flow, your joy. In the second part of this video, we'll go even deeper. We'll explore how to actually find your rhythm in a chaotic world, how to overcome the fear of judgment, and how to embody your unique role in the cosmic theater of life without burning out, giving up, or losing yourself in the noise. But before we continue, I'll leave you with this question. Are you dancing through life or fighting your way through it? When we talk about finding your rhythm in life, we're not talking about discovering some rare, magical formula that only the enlightened few can access. We're talking about tuning back in to something you've always known but may have forgotten. That rhythm is not out there, it's in you. It's encoded into your breath, your heartbeat, your intuition. It's the part of you that knows how to laugh before you understand the joke, how to cry before you can explain the pain, how to move without needing permission. Alan Watts understood this deeply. He said, "You are something the whole universe is doing, in the same way that a wave is something the whole ocean is doing. You are not separate from the rhythm, you are the rhythm." And when you stop trying to control the music, when you stop trying to choreograph every move, you begin to flow like fire, natural, untamed, alive. But to live like that, you have to let go of the fear of being seen, of being judged, of not fitting into the mechanical beat of the world. You have to risk authenticity in a world addicted to conformity. You have to trust that your rhythm is enough. But that's hard, isn't it? Because most of us have been conditioned to doubt our natural rhythm. We were taught that life is serious business, that mistakes are dangerous, that we must always know what we're doing. We've been taught to perform, to impress, to strive. So we start dancing not to the music of our soul, but to the beat of expectation. We try to be the right kind of person, the productive one, the successful one, the smart one, the spiritual one. But the more we try to be something, the further we drift from just being. And that's where the burnout begins. That's where the anxiety creeps in. Because deep down you know you're out of sync. You feel like an actor in someone else's play. And the longer you perform, the more exhausting it becomes. But here's the truth that changes everything. You don't have to earn your place in the dance. You were born into it. You don't have to be perfect to move with life. You just have to be present. You just have to show up. Watts often spoke of life as a drama or a play, not to trivialize it, but to set you free. He said, the most real state is the state of play. In a play, you can take on roles, you can explore emotion, you can dive into joy, sorrow, passion, confusion, but you always know it's a play. You don't cling to the character. You don't forget that it's all part of a larger expression. And that's the liberation. When you know that life is a performance, you don't take your ego so seriously. You stop clinging to your identity. You stop trying to prove yourself. And instead you play. You give yourself permission to explore, to experiment, to feel. You start asking different questions, not, am I winning? But am I in it? Not, do they approve of me? But am I being true to me? That shift is where you reclaim your rhythm. That's how you come back to the dance, not as a rigid routine, but as a living, breathing improvisation. So what does it look like to play your role with joy, with presence, with fire? It looks like saying yes to the moment. It looks like being curious instead of certain. It looks like letting go of needing to be on track and realizing that life is not a track, it's a song. And your job is not to get to the end of it, but to feel every note. It means letting life move through you without resistance, without apology. It means laughing when it's funny, crying when it hurts, and dancing even when you don't know the steps. Because that's what makes you real. That's what makes you alive. Watts said, you are the universe experiencing itself. So stop trying to be a fixed version of yourself. Let yourself change. Let yourself evolve. Let yourself burn bright. That's what it means to flow like fire. That's what it means to live the dance. And when you live this way, not someday, but now, you don't need to chase happiness. You become it. You become the pulse, the rhythm, the movement. And that's when life stops being a problem to solve and becomes a song you never want to end. And here's where it gets extraordinary. When you truly allow yourself to dance with life, rather than fight it, you discover a kind of joy that doesn't depend on outcomes. It's not the joy of winning, not the joy of being admired or achieving some milestone. It's the joy of being in motion with truth. It's the joy of aligning your inner world with the outer rhythm and realizing they were never separate to begin with. You begin to notice the subtle patterns, the way life weaves moments together, the way silence carries wisdom, the way even your struggles become steps in the choreography. And this joy isn't loud. It's not always fireworks and euphoria. Sometimes it's a soft, quiet resonance. A sense that you are exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't make logical sense. You wake up one morning and realize you're not chasing life anymore, you're dancing with it. And that shift is not just philosophical, it's existential. Because the quality of your life doesn't come from how much you've achieved, but from how deeply you're participating. Are you in the dance, Or are you stuck in the spectator's seat? And once you've tasted that kind of presence, that kind of flow, something else happens. Fear begins to dissolve. Not disappear entirely, but soften. You stop being afraid of change, of failure, of judgment, because you understand that every misstep is part of the rhythm. Even the awkward moments, the painful ones, the ones that didn't go according to plan, they belong. They're not mistakes. They're part of the improvisation. And when you stop resisting them, they transform. Suddenly, a moment of heartbreak becomes a moment of opening. A moment of uncertainty becomes a doorway to creativity. You become more fluid, more responsive, more alive. You stop living from a script and start living from a place of listening. And people around you feel it. They sense that you're not performing anymore, you're being. And that authenticity is magnetic. It's healing. It invites others to do the same. Because when you dance freely, you give others permission to stop marching and start moving, to stop pretending and start feeling. But here's the paradox. The more you surrender to the dance, the more you realize that you were never separate from it to begin with. You stop seeing yourself as a lone individual navigating a hostile world and start experiencing yourself as a wave in the ocean of life. You and the world are not two things. You are the world. You are life, performing itself, discovering itself, expressing itself. And in that realization, the ego, the part of you that's always pushing, striving, defending, begins to relax. It realizes it doesn't have to hold everything together, because life is already holding you. The ground is already beneath your feet. The music is already playing, and your only job, your only true purpose, is to move with it. Not later. Not when everything's perfect. But now. To trust that even if you don't know the next step, the dance will carry you. And that trust is not naive, it's wise. It's the wisdom of the river that flows, the flame that flickers, the bird that sings because it must. So let me ask you now, truly and honestly, what would your life look like if you stopped treating it like a war to be won and started treating it like a dance to be lived? What would change in how you love, how you create, how you rest, how you show up? Because this isn't just about philosophy. This is about freedom. The freedom to stop performing and start playing. The freedom to stop surviving and start expressing. The freedom to be you, not as you've been told to be, but as you actually are, unfiltered, dynamic, alive. That's the invitation Alan Watts left us. Not to become something better, but to remember who we are, players in the cosmic dance, forgetful of our own rhythm, yet always able to return with just one step. So take that step right now. Let go. Breathe. Feel the music. And move not to arrive, not to impress, but simply because that's what life is asking of you. Because life is not a battle. Life is not a test. Life is not a grind. Life is a dance. And it's happening right now.